כרגע זה כתוב שכאילו אין שום participants, חוץ משלושתנו.
כי רק עכשיו עשיתי סטארט.
אוקיי, ואתה רואה התקדמות של ה-participants? אני רואה, הנה, עכשיו הצטרף אחד.
עכשיו התחילו.
אז אולי ניתן לזה רגע? We'll wait a minute or two to let people join.
I think we can start. We have 15 attendees.
Okay. We'll start and people will join as we're going. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our Q&A event. We'll be discussing the Green Deal Digital Ocean Consortium that we are currently consolidating. My name is Ahava and I'm a marketing executive here at Argentum. And I'll be speaking with Ishai, Argentum CEO. For those of you who aren't familiar with our work, Argentum is a consulting firm that specializes in attaining non-dilutive funds and R&D incentives for deep tech companies from the EU and associated countries. We are part of the Israeli FreeMind Group, which has raised almost 2 billion euros for international clients since it was established in 1999. We lead hundreds of clients towards higher rates of participation in EU-funded and locally funded projects in all areas of technology. With a dedicated team of analysts, project managers, group leaders, business development specialists, and talented grant writers, we are determined to develop our clients' top-notch project proposals. So we will start off with a number of questions for Ishai and a brief discussion of this unique Green Deal call and this topic, followed by time for your questions that you're welcome to write in the chat box below. I see we have a few more people that have joined. So with no further ado, good morning, Ishai. How are you today?
Good morning, Ava. Thanks for the introduction and thanks for organizing this nice event. I'm thrilled to be here and tell the world a little bit about our organization, a little bit about myself and how we created this this consortium around Digital Ocean, still creating. I see in our attendees list that we have some of the consortium participants already on board joining us today, and some new names that I don't know yet. So please enjoy the meeting. We will not discuss the specificities of the project proposal creation. We will just provide in this meeting an overview of what has been achieved so far and some introduction of our team. I think that as the first note, I want to say that it is wonderful to see how collaborative projects continue to flourish and to be planned during this harsh time when most of Europe is in different types of lockdowns and the ability to travel and meet face to face is damaged. We happy to see that we can take this time to stop and think about the environment and create project despite these harsh conditions. And I hope that it will be that we can take some of the things we learned in this time to use in the future when this crisis is over. So yes, let's start.
Okay, thank you for that opener, and I join your wish for all of us, for all of humanity, to grow from this very difficult experience we've had in the past year and to flourish out of it. Um, so I'll start with the first question. Ishai, what is your position at Argentum? Tell us a little bit about it, and how long have you worked for the company?
Well, yes. First of all, I'm currently managing all our European activities. It means everything related to Horizon 2020, but even local European grants for that governments provide, and projects outside Horizon 2020, projects such as LIFE, project for the European Space Agency, and others. Actually, I joined Argentum as a grant writer right after graduating from my first bachelor degree in the university on physics and economics. I started experiencing in Argentum as a grant writer. So I got the opportunity to work with the most exciting startups and projects in Israel, starting in Israel, but then in most European countries, and been exposed to unique technologies, exciting new projects, and also being exposed to different types of funding mechanisms, grants, collaborative projects, research grant, innovation actions, tenders. So I have experience in most of these. In 2014, I started to manage a group of grant writers in the company, and started to develop our European outreach program. And since 2018, I'm the vice president of the company. I'm vice president on the company, overseeing the activities related to European funding. Um, from time to time, I pick a specific project that I find interesting and important, and I lead it on my own. And this is the same case as the Digital Ocean Call. I found this very interesting, and I decided to lead this activity. And so far we are doing very well, and hopefully for fruitful proposal preparation and submission, and then project implementation. So that's it. Yes.
Okay, thank you. What would you say that you like most about your job, enjoy most in your work, and what would you say that you find most challenging?
Well, I think the first and most immediate answer is that we like winning projects. Getting approval for a grant is very exciting. This is kind of fulfilling our goal as consultants for funding, and it is amazing to reach this far with just your words and your participants. And but I think that the process of getting there is sometimes more important and more rewarding. Um, uh, the thought process of creating a new project, getting validation from the project as more and more people getting along the way, and more participants are joining and starting to build this thing together and to plan it. There is a lot of rewarding feeling in this process. So I think that in this process, we also provide most of the value as a consultancy firm, because we let we let experts actually do their expertise work, and we worry about how these are all connected into a project that is nicely put, that is correctly submitted, and let them worry about their expertise, and we take the collaboration and the management and the coordination of this process. So and that way we allow them to reach more successes during their work. So they, because they focus on what they do best. Um, Yes, so if you ask me, getting proposals funded, this is the main source of joy in our work, but the process is also important.
Right, and for sure, if you believe in the kind of work that the companies that we work with do, which many times we encounter very innovative, creative, like new kind of ideas and companies that are doing very unique work. So it's special to create a proposal that's almost like forming a new idea out of what's existing already, and to, like you said, let them do their thing, do what they do best, and we'll do what we do best and let them do the
That's
amazing
totally
work they do.
That's yes, complementing to my answer. Being exposed to all these new state of the art and beyond state of the art ideas is also another source of joy in our work.
Mhm. So, okay, so for the purpose of sort of expanding, or I would say more for the benefit of those who don't know about the European Union Green Deal in depth, please give us like an overview of what this funding program is by the EU, and what is the digital ocean area called within the Green Deal?
So the European Green Deal is actually the European master plan to make the European Union's economy more sustainable by turning climate challenges into opportunities. So the idea is not just pouring more funding for innovation or subsidies for cleaner energy or clean or more sustainable, environmentally sustainable projects, but let's test how we can make this thing live, economically reasonable project. So we don't want to be in the position when companies or stakeholders has to choose between being green or being profitable. We want to see how these economical challenges are opportunities that can flourish economic growth. We don't want to damage economic growth with clean initiatives. Another idea, or another very main idea that the European Union is promoting is leaving no one behind, saying that change should include weaker economies throughout the world, not only Europe, not only rich countries. Now, these are big words, and this is a very good direction, but it needs to be translated down into actions. And in our line of work, we looked at the grants that they are offering in this area and that follow this plan. And the opening shot was in May, where the May cutoff date of the EAC accelerator, which is for any of you that doesn't know, this is like a single beneficiary grant of up to 2.5 million euros, and then equity investment. It's very, very popular around Europe for profit SMEs. And they decided to make this grant specifically focused on clean tech, only in the May cutoff date. And they were, I think, 300 million euros in the budget there, and like saying that every initiative that are not contributing to clean tech is not relevant for this cutoff date. So this was the opening shot. That's the first time the European Green Deal has been translated into a grant and a call for proposal. And now this next coming up opportunity with deadline on January 26 is a Green Deal call. And the Green Deal call has much greater budget, approximately 1 billion euros, distributed among 20 topics and subtopics, and in 9 research areas: transportation, energy, oceans, renovation, and others, agriculture, and others. And we chose in Argentum, we chose 4 of these topics to pursue and prepare a consortium and create a grant. One of them is the call about the digital oceans. The call wants us to create this computerized replica of the ocean, make the oceans more transparent, more accessible, and kind of advance the research in this area a level in usefulness and stakeholder engagement. So to summarize, Green Deal is European plan for a cleaner environment through fostering new opportunities. And the transparent digital ocean is one of the topics that we are pursuing.
Okay, so part of the idea of the transparent seas and the digital ocean is to create a digital twin of the oceanic environment. So I would like you to expand for the less tech savvy people, such as myself, on what exactly a digital twin is. What exactly is that technique, I guess you could call it.
Um, so creating a digital twin, actually an excellent question, because it's a new idea. It's a relatively new idea, and as new ideas, everyone has the freedom to interpret it as they wish. It's a term that started. It's a common methodology for replicating complex products and environments, and it started for engineering, because you can make a digital replica of a product you are developing and test it under extreme conditions, because you have the simulation environment and the technological capacity to run very accurate simulations. But then the idea has developed and became more active in computer science, in biology. There are physical twins of many things right now, buildings, renovations. It's spreading everywhere. And when we think about digital twin of the ocean, we think of it as okay, it is more than a replica. So mapping and being providing accurate mapping is not enough. We need to make it useful. We need to allow running of simulations, and we need it to be available for testing new applications. And this is what we think of when we think about a digital twin project. In our project, we want to have a computerized environment of all the information we can get from real oceans and seas. And with this environment, we can try to do plenty of things that we could not do before. Simulating what will the oceans and the different layers of information that we have available will look like if we run it years into the future. Simulating how user behavior can change this trajectory, but at the same time, running use cases, services, applications, and applied research on the data in several areas. We call it the resource, health, and safety oceans nexus. And resources, meaning how resources from the ocean can be used better. And ocean health is asking questions about how these activities could be balanced with the ocean health and not damage it. What can be done to improve ocean health, and what is the relation between these activities and the safety of the oceans? How the ocean does not become danger to humanity. prevent, how can we prevent sea level rise, how can we avoid ocean-borne disasters such as hurricanes, gigantic waves, and other phenomena, and so these all activity, all areas will be translated in our project to testing activities, to testing activities that will be in the form of application services or new research. So this is in our idea making a digital twin of something, and this is how we plan to implement it in this project.
Mm. And, like as far as like environmentalism goes, or environmental activity, or things that we can do to better the state of our environment. So you would think the ocean is most of the globe, right? Most of the globe is water. So that would be a really good place to start. Like, how could we better that environment? So I have to say, I personally connect to this mission very much. Aside for also being able to develop new data, and as you will be telling us about shortly, but aside for that, also just conservation, I think, is of great importance when it comes to the oceans.
Yes.
So thank you, Ishai. What would you say is unique about this call? Maybe even in relation to other areas in the Green Deal? And why did you choose it as an area of focus for Argentum?
So first of all, the call is unique because the European Union kinds of lay out the concept for us. It is saying exactly what it wants to be made, but it offers us the exact freedom in planning the project as we would want it. It's not like a tender when you have specific, very specific goals quantitated, but he offers us some activity that goes very well with what we want to achieve in this project. And secondly, this is a strategic move for Argentum because there will be a special mission in Horizon Europe. Horizon Europe is the program that will come right after Horizon 2020 ends next January, and we don't know a lot about this program, but we know that there will be specific mission about the safety and health of ocean, seas, and inland waterways. So for us, winning and managing a project like this will be a great jumping starting point for the next 7 years to come. So we want to get more experience in this area. So this is a good move for Argentum, but it's also something that we examined really deeply and decided that we can do it.
And also get a chance to get to know, I guess, core players in the field, and innovative companies that are coming up with very interesting, new, creative innovations in this area.
Yes.
So that's an interesting opportunity also to get to know them. So our consortium is being consolidated as we speak, and we have 15 participants at the moment. So I'd like to hear about some of the environmental issues that are tackled by various innovations in our consortium. As the EU, like you said earlier, does have a goal for, they're called SDG, right? Sustainable Development Goals. So please tell us a little bit about what we're tackling in this consortium in relation to that.
So last time I checked, we are targeting 13 of 17 sustainable development goals. So it's not only the major SDG that talks about life under ocean, which is goes without saying, but many other areas related to economic development and related to securing the food resources and supporting climate conditions and So we are addressing issues such as we will have activities around cleaner energy production, around ocean biodiversity, around the effects of microplastics in the oceans and macroplastics as well, and increasing the environmental impact of fishing, like not increasing but improving the environmental impact of fishing, avoiding overcatch or bycatch, and we can foster better navigation underwater for better mapping. And I think the most interesting part of our work would be the engagement that we plan with the recreational users of the oceans, how we can use them to help us map, but how we can provide more value for them, so it wouldn't become something that they so that the mapping will not be something that they choose to do, is something that they get value by doing that. So we want to create this circle of we create value and we foster applications, and the applications are valuable enough for people to use them, and then people will will help us in upgrading our algorithms and making it more useful, and this making the entire project more powerful. Yes, so we are addressing a lot of environmental issues. We are still open for new suggestions to new ones if someone still wants to join our consortium, and we will be happy to hear everyone's opinion on that if they want to add.
So the idea is like more, I just want to make sure that I'm fully understanding. So basically the consortium is not only going to aggregate the amount of data that's already out there and companies that already are showing us data and information collected about the sea environment, but also hopefully we hope to create a project that will be able to output new data, right? Like give us new information about what's happening in this ocean environment.
Yes, you got it right.
Okay. Amazing. Okay, so what type of innovations do you think would be a good fit for Argentum's consortium at this time? We spoke a little bit about the SDGs we're already tackling. What do you think would be a good addition?
Actually, you said it, you summarized it nicely. I think once we have this very nice digital replica of the ocean, we want to make it a digital twin, but we want to introduce the idea of crowdsourcing in our project. And the idea of crowdsourcing is how we can make how we can use the wisdom of the crowd or the wisdom of the people to have a better project, to have better imaging, a better mapping, to validate our algorithms, to see that we did something right. So I think that any tool or any research or any application that can generate value from ocean data to the end users, and at the same time can use the feedback from users to get the data back, to feed the data back into our system, then we will be able to then they will be very good for our project. So if anyone in the audience is interested and have some ideas around usefulness of ocean data, then we would be very happy to speak with them.
Okay. I think we'll probably see some people, I'm seeing some people are writing to us in the chat, so we will definitely have some time very shortly for your questions and maybe to introduce some ideas. I want to ask you, one last question, Ishai. Tell us a little bit about the challenges involved in consolidating this consortium. What have been your solutions to them? How you're growing and learning as you're consolidating this project?
First of all, the first challenge is to open an empty Word document and fill it in with and make a project happen. So the first thing that we need to think on when building such a impactful project is what is the concept, what is the backbone, and what is let's say what is the lighthouse that all the activities are followed by. Because unless we have this center, it will turn out to be a mess, and maybe it will win the grant, but it will not achieve any of its goals. And we did a lot of work in the background of trying to understand what would be a good concept that will be innovative from one end, and on the other end will answer most and if not all of the core requirements, and at the same time be welcoming many participants. So we don't want to make it too narrow, like targeting a specific layer or targeting a specific goal, but we want to have something that will stand out and be the right answer for the call. And this was very difficult in the beginning, but we have helped expertise of all the participants that we were able to bring in this journey. And we have made over 30, we made discussions with over 30 experts in ocean mapping and in technology, in data management, in data analysis, in AI. And we got to the concept that we have today, which is to which is to enable prove actually that we want to prove that ocean mapping goes hand in hand with the user engagement. So we can use user data to do mapping, and if we prove that, and if we prove that this is sustainable and economically and environmentally, then it might be replicated. And if it might be replicated, then it means that we actually solved a major problem. This is just the vision that we want to take, and this is where we got so far. And now we are facing the next challenge in our call, and this is where I want to ask all of the participants if they can contribute. We are still in the stages of finalizing the consortium. We have a lot of room for new participants, leading organizations in ocean research, some leading very innovative technologies that can help us. We are ready to hear everyone and address everything you have to say. And if you want, we can add you in the consortium so you can jump on board and be a part of this.
Okay, so with that said, I think we can turn to some of the questions that we've gotten from participants here. So I see that in the chat. Kostas introduced himself from University of Again, Sababa. Thank you. Rafael said we may use the concept of citizen science instead of crowdsourcing.
Well, I don't think it's instead, it's in addition, because citizen science is something that the European Union wants us to do. He actually mentioned this in the call, and we will do it. We have some experts in citizen science that are already involved in citizen science. The distinction between citizen science and crowdsourcing is delicate, because citizen science, you need to work in order to create the engagement, and you need to invest your resources in order to reach all these citizens and make them do measurements for you. But crowdsourcing is more, let's take what the they do it for their own reasons, and let's take this data. So it's more scalable. Um, so there will be room for citizen science and crowdsourcing. Some activities will be better engaged by citizen science, and some activities will be better engaged with crowdsourcing, and some with both. For example, if we take the example of fishing, okay, how can we get information from fishermen? We first can we can survey, and we can ask them, okay, how was your catch today, or what did you do? Did you follow our algorithms, and what were they right? But this is not scalable, but this is some sort of citizen science. Then we can use sensors. We can put sensors on their ships and have the sensors collect data. Have the sensors collect data, and we can analyze this data. This is good. This is a little bit complex, but this is something. This is called probably crowd sensing. And then with crowdsourcing, we can do okay. What are they saying to their friends? What are they saying in social media? What can we get from the internet about the fishing, the sentiment of fishing in an area? Can we get can we understand if there was a change through discussions in social media? And if we can, then we can have a new layer of map, which is very accurate, very scalable, because these are machines doing the work for us, and that can provide us valuable information. So the whole spectrum of engagement is considered, from citizen science to crowd sensing and crowdsourcing. Thank you for this question. I see that Costas Topozelis is asking us about would marine plastic detection is an interesting topic for a consortium. Crowdsourcing could also work. Yes, we have marine plastic detection experts. We are approaching microplastics, so we have several participants that are engaged in this research. We are also considering adding macroplastics, like just people throwing trash in the ocean, which is important as well. So this was the answer for Costas.
Okay, we have another question from Jan. We're going to answer the questions also in the Q&A box and also in the chat box. I guess there are two options to write questions. So Jan asks, how can we approach the consortium with specific innovation ideas? Jan, you can contact us. I will send my email address in the chat box for everyone's benefit if you wish to get in touch with us further. Ishai, do you have something to add to that?
No, you can contact me or Ava, and we will make sure that that we have a call and exchange ideas.
Okay, and that goes for Aldo also, who asked a technical question about joining the consortium regarding our business model. So we'd be happy to answer those questions via email.
I actually want to answer Rhett's question, because I think it will answer Aldo's as well. Rhett Udkirk has asked us, sounds like it needs governance layer and economic model, and he suggested blockchain. And that is great, because we planned blockchain. We want to use blockchain for two reasons. We wanted information in the models to be tokenized for traceability and reliability. So in the end, when you're using the model to generate insights, you know what is the mix of sources of information that it was used. So this is the first idea about blockchain that we want to pursue. And the next idea is, if we can prove, then we have a specific task for proving that this database and applications on top of this are valuable. And if they are valuable in monetary terms, maybe we can charge API calls for new applications. And if we can charge API calls, we want to be able to distribute the micropayments to the person who created the data in the first place. So yes, blockchain is included. We have some specific people that provide this, but we can also speak with you and see how you can contribute to that.
Okay.
See.
Okay. Perhaps we should answer Elaine's question. How have you included links to the current EU ocean observation services and research infrastructures in your proposal?
So we have some. Well, first, our first activity in the project would be to link to these research infrastructure and use all the data sets that are already available and put them together in a big data collider and in a unified model. So there will be substantial activities around that. We have also I don't want to mention specific names, but we have also already included participants that have been participating in creating these infrastructure. So we have them. We are approaching more of these. We have participants with already installed research infrastructure such as vessels, research stations, buoys, gliders, and others. So this was the answer.
Okay. Thank you, Ishai. We have another question from Kumi. I'm a deep tech entrepreneur, and as an angel investor in clean tech companies, I'm interested in the blended finance options as we see in EIC. Can you talk a little about this?
Well, this is not very related to this topic because this type of grant does not provide blended finance. We are waiting, like all of Europe, for them to publish their plan towards Horizon Europe and how the EAC will work. So, and we can discuss this once we know more about it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I hope I'm not missing anyone. Rafael has asked another question. Is there any expected role for wastewater network operators in the proposal? Relevant impact on coastal waters, spills, etc.?
Might be. There might be.
Talk to us, Rafael. Speak to us later. Ishai, have I missed anyone? Do you see anyone we have not responded to? Oh, sorry, Rosario asked.
I see that there are several questions about the companies joining the consortium. Unfortunately, because this is a public event, we don't want to expose too much of our participants. We can just say that we have 5 SMEs and research organizations from Spain. We have 2 research organizations from Portugal. We have 3 research organizations and SMEs from Greece, 3 from Israel, 1 from Sweden, and 2 from the UK, but in different levels of, like each of them are providing something else. So if someone wants to have more details about the consortium structure, he can ask us directly after the event.
Okay, I think that there are no more questions. I think we can conclude.
Yes. If any of you see himself as a good addition to the consortium, as I see that you are, please contact us. We actually will be in contact with with each one of you in separately, but please contact us if you have anything to offer or any comments you wanted to have, and we will be happy to answer them.
Yes, I sent in the chat box, I sent both mine and Ishai's emails. You're welcome to contact us and we would be happy to answer any further questions. Thank you all for joining us this morning. Thank you, Ishai, for expanding on this topic and talking a little bit about Argentum and our work. And we would be very happy to hear from all of you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.